Okay, guys, don't want to be mean, so I'm jumping back on, and I had to go pee. So I jumped off, you know what I'm saying? Mad dash to the restroom, you know, did what I need to do, now I'm back. Because there was a couple questions there, and it's not even the questions, it's just the fact that if you're coming here for the first time, you're booking your flight, you got your hotel, and you're trying to figure other things out, there's a couple things that I want to add to that conversation. So I'm going to put it on here and just say watch part 1 and part 2 when people ask me these questions. And so hopefully, I have no idea if you guys can even hear or see me, Lord Jesus. Let's see, can anybody, you know what, my internet be tripping, so who knows? Maybe you can hear me, maybe you can't, I don't know. Oh snap, I think I'm trying to see if I can hear myself, so yeah, that's good. So maybe you can hear me, maybe you can't, uh-oh. Okay, so it's working. Okay, so one of the questions, I don't know what the questions were, but as I said in part 1, which I don't know how, or at least I tried to continue the video, the initial stream I was just doing, like 20 minutes ago. I was trying to continue that stream, but it wouldn't let me, so I have to start a new stream, so I'm just gonna add on to that. And so the video I did earlier today was talking about how to book your flight to Ghana, and on that video I talk about how to book your flight, how to search for rates, the airport you're coming into Ghana, and because there's only one for international travel, and we talked about visas, how to get your visa from the Ghanaian embassy consulate, in particular the one in DC. Did a walkthrough of that, and because Ghana is not set up for tourism, I don't care what they tell you about the year term, beyond the term, whatever the hell. They have these little, you know, okey doke stuff that they show and they try to glamorize on social media. Regular people are never invited. Regular people don't know anything about it. You might have one off that one person knows about it, and that's just because they're well connected with somebody who knew. Or they got like massive money they're about to start spending on buying these expensive apartments or something. So, since Ghana is not set up for tourism, when you get here, it's hard to figure out where to go, and what to do. So that part I do want to talk about. I want to talk about where to go and what to do. So I pulled up TripAdvisor for you guys earlier, and I said that when I came for the first time, I didn't know what to do. So I hired a car at my hotel that had a driver that took me around, and it was a good day. Like I paid for, I think, 4 hours. And so we hit all the spots in Accra, and it doesn't take long to hit the spots in Accra. And, you know, I was able to do some shopping at the art center, which is very overwhelming, in case you don't know. And so that was a good thing. So when you come here, I highly suggest you go on TripAdvisor and look and see where you want to go to. Mind you, they tell y'all so many ridiculous stories about Ghana. It gets on my nerves. But at the same time, Ghana is a great and a beautiful country. It's just not set up for tourism. So what happens is that you have to figure out, one, how can you see the forts and castles that dot the entire coastline of Ghana from the east, from the eastern region, or Volta region, going all the way down to the western region, and Accra's in the middle of that. So you have Accra, you have the eastern region, you have Volta Eastern, you have Greater Accra, you have the entire central region, and then it stretches out to the western region where Takrady is. Hi, Vibe. Thank you, girl, for supporting me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I had to go to the bathroom, so I had to go. I know I be telling y'all too much, but I'm back now. I'm back. I'm good. What are your suggestions on exchange money? I would assume USD. Any tips on credit use? Avoid it? Are there hidden fees, etc.? Okay, so sorry. I'm gonna answer that 1 second. 1 second. I was stuffing my face with potato chips on my way back before I went live, so let me take a drink. Girl, look at this. Hold back snacks. Don't let them tell you ain't no snacks active in this piece, child. I can't lose weight for nothing. Anyway, sorry. I would say, one, you don't have to carry a bunch of cash on you. Of course, you should always have cash on you when you come. But I have found that it's really expensive to exchange money at the airport, although it can be helpful. If you are staying at the Marriott, the Ibis Hotel, or one of the other larger hotels here in Accra, they should have already arranged pickup for you. Now, they may or may not be on time, but they arrange pickup for you. So they should be there when you arrive, since they know, your flight information, your arrival time. So you shouldn't have to have any money on you. If you feel a need to tip, you can tip a few US dollars to whoever's helping you, and they don't have any problem accepting that. As a matter of fact, they don't have a problem accepting dollars, pounds. There's another currency that they accept widely, the Chinese money. Can't think of it. Was it a yen? Can't think of the name. That's not a yen. Wow, I'm tripping. That might be racist. Give me. I forget what the Chinese money is called, but they accept the dollar with no problem. The reason why I say that it's expensive to exchange your money at the mall is because at the airport is because the fees are high, right? You can always use the ATMs. Now, I will say be very careful about which ATMs you use. And I haven't found any hidden charges with credit card or with the debit card. I mean, basically, your bank will tell you, or whoever you have your credit card with you will tell you, the currency exchange rate, because that's not a hidden fee though. You know that you're going to have a currency exchange rate. They'll tell you before you travel what that currency exchange rate is, so you know that's going to be baked into the cost. And whatever your ATM fees are going to be baked into the cost too. Now, sometimes for international travel, depending on who you're banking with and the partnership they have with other international banks, you may not get ATM fees. But here in Ghana, everybody tends to get fees, but I shouldn't say everybody. I and other people I know have gotten fees, but the fees aren't that high. Remember, they're doing the fees in CDs, not in dollars too. So let's say a fee would be between 15 and 26 CDs for a transaction. And you can go to, I would say the best ATMs to go to with an international bank card, debit card, would be Absa Bank ATM. Absa is ABSA. They're like red, so they're like bright red, like Verizon colors, literally. So you can go there, and you can go to Cal Bank. It's also a good one. And actually, those are the only two I've went to, and I have no problems. Some of these ATMs will eat up people's cards, but I have never had that problem because I've been very, very particular about where I use the ATM. I don't use ATMs at gas stations. I don't use those bootleg, you look at ATMs at the hotel. I use ATMs that are either at the mall or at the bank because I feel like both places I can get my card back if for some reason they get stuck, because they're constantly coming in and out of these places. So no, if you're going to be spending CDs, I wouldn't be bringing a lot of cash. I would just pull those CDs out of the ATM. What happens is, what will happen is that when you use the ATM, your currency that you will receive will be CDs, not US dollars, not any other currency. Your currency is going to be in CDs. And you should have a currency exchange app on your phone before you come, so that you constantly can see what the exchange rate is, dollar to CD. You know what I'm saying? So that way, one, how much you should be getting out and how much you will get back approximately in CDs based on the amount. So let's say you put in 100, let's say, I'm just giving a ballpark figure. Let's say you want to get $100 out. And I think the exchange rate is like 5.7 or $5.6 to every one CD. So maybe you'll get about $560 back, or maybe you get back 500, not dollars, CDs. You'll get 500 and some change back from the ATM, all in CDs, if you say you want to withdraw $100. I would be very cautious and wise to withdraw the money that you need to last you for a few days or a week, because you may not get back to that same ATM that looks normal, works well, and you got the money that you need, because ATMs aren't everywhere here. They're not that easy to find. And people are gonna get mad, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. I live here. I mean, seriously. They are all around Central Accra, but once you get out of Central Accra, they're not that easy to find. But I personally wouldn't be traveling with a lot of money, because if you travel with a lot of money, first of all, you make yourself look suspicious. So, and you know, it's just not advisable unless, I don't know. I would just say, pull what you can out once you get here, and just, you know, have, you know, a little money on you to eat with and all that stuff. Okay, so as far as traveling to, as far as like staying at other hotels, I did mention this. The hotels I mentioned in the part 1 of this video, of this broadcast, which I did earlier, basically, I mentioned them because either I have stayed there, or I know somebody that stayed there, and that's why I mentioned them. Or I've been there, right? I may not have slept in the room, but I had some interactions at the hotel for one reason or another. So I don't recommend places I've never seen or been to, because things anywhere, but especially here in Ghana, can be hit or miss. So, you know, I personally say don't go cheap when you're taking a vacation to Africa for the first time, because you don't want to be miserable, and you also don't want to be scared. You know, this is a different vibe here, guys. Their cheap is not your cheap. You might be thinking you saving some dollars, and not only will you not have hot water, you won't have no water. And you think that you can handle the heat. You come here when it's not rainy season and during Hamatan, and you're in a room with no air, you better be on the ocean. If you ain't on the ocean, baby, you're gonna melt. So you gotta, I personally, I believe you should spend appropriately for your comfort level, at least for your first trip. And then after that, after you had a feel for Ghana, after you had a feel for the environment, after you had a feel for how things work and how things are, then you can do something cheaper, like a guest house, because some guest houses are quite comfortable and nice. Others will terrify you. So it's just that you don't know that until you're here and you actually start seeing places and know what your comfort level is. Because what I'm comfortable with, you may not be comfortable with, and vice versa. So, you know, yeah. So that's what I have to say about that, because I've had some crazy experiences where I will walk away and not stay at that place because I would just be freaked out. I would be swear, number one, there gonna be some roaches crawling in my ears. I don't care what you got to say. And I am not having none of that, okay? I never experienced that, and I don't want to. So I just be like, hell to the lot, you ain't laying no little roach babies in my ear. And those little lizards that do push-ups, nah. If they crawling on walls and I'm not ready for that yet, no, that's not gonna work. So this is why I say, stay in a place that you already are comfortable with. You know other people have stayed, you know there are great reviews, it's high quality, it's up to your standards, so that you will be comfortable on your first trip, because it's going to be a whole culture shock as you get adjusted being here. But some of y'all think y'all can rough it and y'all get here and get, you know, brand new and crazy. Yes. So Margaret said, okay, so forgot to put that initial question up. Okay, and so Margaret says, that's the way it's done here in the US. When you go to any ATM, here it gives you dollars in exchange for whatever money you have. 100% true, which is true anywhere in the world you go. If you go somewhere where the currency is different than your own, you're gonna get the local currency. But for some reason, I don't think people realize that when they get here, because one, they've never been here, and so many people haven't traveled internationally. You may have traveled a lot around the US, you've done cruises, but you haven't actually been out of the country where you're actually on the ground, out and about, and you're staying there for a period of time, right? So that's true regardless. Also, when you're coming here, so I'll tell you, when I came back to Ghana, so I told you guys I left in July, went back to Chicago, and then I came back. So I was gone for a week. When I came back, I was so surprised that I wasn't asked at all for my yellow fever shot, proof of yellow fever vaccine. Nobody asked me. They mean I asked them. They was like, we don't need that. We need the COVID. We don't even want that. We want the COVID. And I was just like, oh, all right. You know what I'm saying? But when I went to the US, like when I flew in July to go to the US never even asked me for proof of COVID, a negative COVID test. They didn't ask me nothing. They literally looked at my passport and said, go, get your bags, get out. That's Chicago for you, right? Basically go, you know. And I'm like, you don't got nothing else to ask me. The lady's like, what am I supposed to ask you? You got something? I'm like, no, got nothing. She was like, then go. I was like, all right. You know, I'm getting myself in trouble for no reason. But I was just so shocked. I'm coming to the US. You got the Delta variant running around like wildfire, and no one even asked me for my proof of proof of the negative PCR test for the COVID. Yet when I got to Ghana, they wanted that information and to make sure that I paid that $150 for that test, or I would have had to pay for it at that time. So guys, keep this in mind when you're coming. No, you don't have to show proof of vaccination at all, because Ghana doesn't accept that. Each country's requirements are different. Here in Ghana, proof of vaccination is not accepted. You have to have proof of negative PCR test within 72 hours. That's what's accepted, because I asked and they said no. I was like, okay, what's the point? Right? But if you go to certain places in Europe, that works, right? So it's interesting. It's interesting, you know, but these requirements change daily. Remember, depending on when you are actually coming to Ghana or even anywhere in Africa, you should be checking to see what are the COVID requirements. And if you're wondering how to check, your airline that you book with, when you go on to your airline's website, they should have that information there for you. I know when I flew with Emirates, they kept sending me emails reminding me that I need to understand what the requirements are to come to transit through Dubai and upon arrival in the US. So, you know, I studied them. Like I might get trapped nowhere. So I was making sure I had everything. But that is a way that you can find out what these requirements are, because remember, they change, and Ghana changes quickly. So if you're not flying until next month, October, and literally that's what, like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, you better be checking right before you fly, like a couple of days before you fly, what are the new requirements, because those new requirements are going to matter when you try to go to the airport, and you don't want to get turned away at the airport, and you also don't want to miss your flight. Like nothing sucks worse than almost missing your flight, because I almost missed my flight to come back to Ghana, and I was about to just lose my mind. So, but I got my test results in the end, so it worked out. Yeah, someone said, okay, so Elle said that they didn't ask for the test results of the COVID. So they didn't ask me neither for the COVID results in Miami. Yeah, I just find it so interesting how the US is not asking for proof of a negative test when you fly in. It's almost like they just saying, yo, bring that Delta, that Mu, that Lambda, that whatever Greek alphabet you got variant into the country. Like, it's you know what, the states need that shit crazy. But you know, I don't know, to each his own. But I found that super interesting. Now, guys, if you're joining and you're watching the background, this live is not about vaccines or shots or anything. It's about traveling to Ghana and the different requirements that are required depending on where you're coming from when you're coming into Ghana. And I'm specifically talking about Americans traveling right now, because I just recently went back there, and you know, well, that's the passport I hold, so I know this better than any other region or country. So if it's another region or another country is saying something else, you guys should be watching that and understanding what it is, or like where you're coming from. So just be prepared. So like when Ghana changes their requirements, because it's not a question of if, it's when. Everybody is changing their requirements all over the world almost daily, right? So it's just a matter of when they do it to make sure you're in compliance so that you can still get to Ghana or whatever African country you're flying to. I also told you guys about being able to make sure that you have your, what is it called? Your visa, that you have your visa. And so I would suggest if you are going to be flying in the next few months, literally within the next 180 days, and you already have a valid passport that's not going to be expiring soon, you should start your visa application as soon as possible. If you know you're coming in December, don't wait until the last week of November to try to get your visa, especially during high season, because you might mess around and not get your visa in time for your flight. So if you haven't went over to the website for the Ghana Embassy in DC to read about your the visa application process, you need to do that as if you're filling out the visa and then read the requirements so that you can understand, because that can't happen. Like that almost happened to me this last time that I was in Germany. That literally was like 2 years ago, because I came in November of 2019. So when when I had to get that visa, I waited too long. Like I waited literally like 4 days, 5 days before my flight was to leave, because I had so much going on. Remember, I had moved there. So I'm still trying to wrap things up, get my stuff shipped, cut off utilities, just do everything I need to do in order to move and you just be done with Germany. And there was a lot more and I thought I needed to do, and I completely forgot about the visa. Completely forgot. So I was rushing to get there, and it was just a whole bunch of stuff. But in the end, they allowed me to do it expedited. I paid a whole lot more money, but it didn't matter because I was just like, look, just let me get in the country. Okay? But that's only because they had an office in Berlin, and I was able to physically go there, wait for hours. This wasn't like some quick process. I was in there for the time they opened to the time they closed to get that expedited visa same day. Okay, and they did not want to give it to me. Let me tell you, boy, it was a lot had to be done to get that visa, but I got it. So you don't want to be in that situation because it is extremely stressful. It is so stressful when you've already spent money and made all these arrangements to vacate the premises of your apartment, hand over the keys, ship all your things. You know, you got to be able to leave. So it's just it can be challenging. So make sure you guys keep that in mind when you are planning your visit or your move to Ghana. You know, but really what I'm talking about today in these two lives that I did is about visiting Ghana. You know, I really think everybody should visit before you try to move here, because the vibe is so different than what you're used to, especially those of you who ain't never been out the country before, ain't never been out of America, ain't never traveled nowhere. Just because people are black, they ain't your black. You know what I'm saying? Your culture, your way of speaking, your way of acting is foreign to them because it's you're coming from a completely different culture. You know, so it's totally foreign. So people have to get used to you and your accent. Right? So, you know, there's that. Welcome everybody who have jumped in and listening to this like part 2 of the how to book your flight to Ghana and be able to get the things together that you want to do. If you're just joining this and you're wondering what I'm talking about, I just posted another live today, a little bit earlier than this one, and it's like how to book your first flight to Ghana, our first trip to Ghana. And I'm going into visas, where to stay, how to get around, just stuff like that. I am going to talk quickly about restaurants, because recommendations for restaurants are kind of important. Okay, let's see. Okay, so you said you wish you would have got the passport card with your passport renewal. Just the FYI, that passport card is invalid outside of the U.S. unless I think maybe the Caribbean and cruise ships will accept that. True international travel does not accept that. So that is completely irrelevant because your card can't hold your visa. You must have a visa to travel. So true international travel, that card is absolutely worthless outside of the U.S. But I feel you. I just want to let you know that so you don't think that would have made things easier. Okay, no problem. High vibe. So you said how long does it take to receive a visa? To receive the visa. Okay, honestly, I don't know because I didn't get my visa in America. I got my visa in Berlin. My family got visas from the DC office, and everybody's time frame was different. The fastest time I heard of was 2 weeks. And then some people can take months. Some people, the average time seems to be 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. That's why it's best to get it way before it's time for you to travel. Remember, you can get your visa 180 days before you travel, period. And it will still be valid for your travel. So that's all I said about the visa. So hopefully that answers that. Hi guys, thank you for joining. I appreciate all of you for coming on. First off, Andy, welcome to the chat. You are free to give me a super chat or a super sticker. I would appreciate that. Thank you. Remember, I'm an American, so you're giving me pounds. Yo, what is that in dollars? I'm like, what? What? I don't know about this pound sterling. You know, I can't even say it right. So, I mean, quite honestly, though, it sounds like a lot of money. Depending on where you're staying at, what you're doing, if that money is just for your spending, is that money part of your spending and your accommodation? What is it? Like, I don't know. There's so many variables there. So it just depends on your what is it called, like your preference on how you want to entertain yourself while you're in Ghana. Are you a partier? You got to be kicking it all the time. You got to be at all the events because they party all night here. Look, yo, there's something for everybody. If you a partier, young or old, you get your old ass out there and shake a tail feather. I don't know. You get your young butt out there and you get your twerk on. I don't know. You know, I just be like, I'm good. I'm good. Speaking of going out, I know that there's several places people can go. Bloom Bar is just a staple here in Ghana, which is nice. I've only been there once, and I went early, and they got super duper packed, and I got the hell out of Dodge. But they have great music, nice drinks, nice outdoor atmosphere. I know that place. I know Plus 233 is the jazz spot that's also outdoors, nice. Afro Kiko has Latin music and salsa. I forget what nights, but I think they have a website. That's one of my favorite places because I love Latino music, right? And so, but they also mix it in with like high life and Ghanaian music and stuff. So it's nice. Anywhere else? I don't even know, can't tell you. But there is something for everybody here. And depending on your lifestyle, you know, you're going to spend. The Sky Bar is nice too. It's in those colorful buildings across from Accra Mall. And drinks in the Sky Bar can be 70 Ghana cedis for one drink. That's over $20 for a drink. And then the meals there are disgusting to me. But other people like them because they think they're getting, you know, getting the Western continental food. It's tasteless. I don't like food that's tasteless. You know, it can look pretty, has no flavor. That's for me personally. I just think their food is nasty. But it's a very beautiful vibe, a very beautiful atmosphere because you're on top and you're looking down at the city of Accra. Expensive though. So keep that in mind. I don't know if you're a partier or not. And if you're coming through December, yeah, that is going down. Okay, everything's gonna be sky high for everybody because they're gonna be like, oh, the Brunies are in town. We shall get all the dollars and pounds. So hey Elle, you know, I've never heard anyone doing that. So if you want the passport card for just walking around as proof of identification, then that's great. You know, I just haven't heard of anyone doing it. So I can't say. Yes, it's convenient. It will be a whole heck of a lot more convenient than carrying a passport with you, but I just don't know. Because remember, you're talking about an identification card that most Americans don't even know about, let alone foreign entities. So a foreign country where you have their, let's say, public services like police or firefighters or whatever, how would they know what that is? I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, you can take it. I've traveled a lot. I've lived a lot of different places. This card has been out for a while. It's not a new card. It's been out for a while, and I still have never heard anybody like actually using it in any circumstance successfully abroad. I know people that had it in Germany, and they would just be like, it's useless because nobody recognizes it. They just don't understand what it is. And I was just like, I didn't understand what it was. I thought it was a waste of money. But that was just me because I travel so much. And I understand that other cultures may not validate that. Just like in the US is not going to validate other people's ID either. You know, only way you can drive in the US and you're a foreigner is if you have an international driver's license. Personally, I think international driver's license is more recognized than this passport card and would be more likely to be the best thing to, you know, as proof of identity. That's what you're trying to say. Or if an accident happened and people need to know who you are, but they also would need to know like where you stay, like where are you staying, you know, stuff like that. So these are just all things to think about. You know, you want to get technical. Everybody that travels are supposed to register with the U.S. consulate upon arrival into a country. I've never in my life done that. For what? And you know, it just never. So because at the end of the day, if something happens, you can still reach out to the consulate and they're still going to help you regardless. So, you know, I just saying, this is just my experience in my travels to the countries I've been to beyond Europe. So it's just, you know, I'm saying this because it's just my experience. Somebody else may have a different experience, so it may be able to tell you something differently. I don't know. Okay, guys, I appreciate you for being on here. You know that you are free to support me if you want to. I happily accept any super chats or super stickers because Lord knows I ain't gonna make no money off of this video because he ain't showing my videos. So my videos will get recommended because I be telling y'all the truth about Ghana and I be talking about, you know, the federations that go down and how Black folks be acting. So, you know, they be getting mad. Guys, I want to eat a piece of my watermelon. I love me some watermelon. I know y'all gonna hate that. But like, look at her, she's so Black. Sit up there eating watermelon. Child. I love me some watermelon, baby. Yes, honey. You better recognize. Watermelon just brings me joy. Watermelon is like edible sunshine, child. Woo! Let me tell you. Sorry. Woo! I got a watermelon. Let me tell you, this Ghana food be hitting. It be hitting so hard, I be chunking up, child. I'm looking at myself, trying to do damn tummy. I was like, what the hell's going on? What is going on? It's too much. Okay. Anyway, let me go back to it. Yep, that international driver's license is an interesting thing because, sorry, I'm going to get to the crypto in a minute, but the international driver's license is interesting because I've noticed it's accepted for you to get like a temporary license or to even drive here in Ghana. Now, I don't know about other parts of Africa, but I'm almost 60% certain you can do this in other parts of West Africa. I don't know about the rest of it. I do feel like you could do it too in South Africa because South Africa is so developed that they shouldn't have a problem at all recognizing it. But you could do it in South Africa, all over Europe, UK, Mexico, parts of Latin America, and I'm just not sure about China because I actually didn't know anyone actually drove in China. So, you know, I'm not really sure about Asia because in Asia, China was the only place I went to, and Japan. So, but I didn't know anybody that drove in those places, so I can't tell you. But for verification of identity, people know what it is. So it's not bad. Okay. Welcome, 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 everyone. Thank you guys for joining. Remember, this is part 2 of the stream that I just did a little bit earlier. Excuse me. And I know it might seem a little bit silly to do a live about how to book a trip to Ghana, but quite frankly, I realized when I went back to the States that people really are not sure how to get here. People are really not sure about where to stay, where to go when they get here, what to do. Even though you're going to meet people, there's never a guarantee how you'll meet people, right? So, everybody needs a little direction. So that's the whole purpose of me doing this particular live stream, but I had to cut it short because, well, nobody acted like they wanted to support me, and I was feeling some kind of way, and I had to go take a soup pee, so I couldn't hold it anymore. I had to go. But guys, feel free to give your girl a super chat, a super sticker, a like, or something. Like the video or something. But let's go back to, somebody asked about cryptocurrency. I saw that for a minute. Cryptocurrency is funny in this part of the world. Some places, sometimes you can get them to use Bitcoin. Everybody doesn't have a wallet, right, for the cryptocurrency. Everybody can accept the transaction, and moreover, you're less likely to be able to make any type of withdrawals here of your crypto. So keep that in mind. That's as far as I'm going to go into that. This is a different continent, right? Technology here is way slow to adapt, right? And they try to leapfrog sometimes, and sometimes it works beautifully. Like mobile money is a thing here where you can send funds, receive funds all through your cell phone using your SIM card. And mobile money is fantastic here and much better than any other form of currency. Of course, cash is always king. But crypto is very infancy. Let's put it that way. Super duper infancy, like a fetus. Yeah, like a whole ass fetus. Okay. Malaria. So someone's asking about malaria. Okay. All right. Welcome everyone who is on here, all my regulars. I love you guys for watching me. Zoo and Shayna, Mrs. My Nigerian Life, Wisdom, Joseph, welcome. High Vibes, Gloria, Andy, LK, everybody that's here. Thank you guys, and those of y'all who are watching back in the back row. Thank you. Appreciate you guys for being a part of this second part of this live, so that I won't have to answer these questions again, hopefully. But I just want to break this down for you all who are curious, because I just get asked the same question over and over again. So I just want to do a video on it, and so I can point people to this. Question. Okay, wait a minute. Let me put that back up. Malaria. Is there a chance of falling ill from malaria here? Yes, 100%. There's mosquitoes. Mosquitoes carry malaria. Is there a way to be preventative about it? Absolutely. You need to be wearing mosquito repellent all the time. Or if you don't want to have the store-bought one, you can just mix I mean, hell, you probably can still use Avon Skin So Soft, to be perfectly honest. But here you can use shea butter and neem oil to mix it together and just rub it on your skin, and it does a pretty good job of keeping the mosquitoes away. At night, just wear long pants, long shirt, or make sure you have mosquito repellent on so you don't have to wear these long things to cover up. But yes, also for your first trip to Ghana, you can easily take the malaria prevention pills. You get those prescribed to you before you leave, and just take them as prescribed, and that helps to deter contracting malaria as well. In hindsight, I wouldn't even take those personally, because my daughter was here. She didn't take any of that. I just gave her the neem and shea, and she just applied that pretty well, and she never caught malaria the entire time she was here. So You know, malaria is a real thing in this part of the world, but even if you get malaria, they have such good medicine here to treat it, and you can walk into any pharmacy and get that medicine. And majority of the pharmacists here are very good as far as understanding symptoms and knowing what medicine to prescribe. So if you get sick with malaria, it's going to feel like you have the flu, and you're going to feel really, really tired. You'll get a burst. Everybody's symptoms are different. Okay, everybody's symptoms are different. I'm just telling you. Mine. You'll get a burst of energy first thing in the morning, then you start crashing. And as it comes into nighttime, you feel like you got the full-fledged flu, and it could be malaria. There's a test for malaria here as well. You can also get that at this pharmacy. They can test you before they give you medicine. Here, when you get malaria, you get the malaria pills. When they tell you how to take them, and they'll give you this like super strong multivitamin to take as well to boost up your immune system. In a couple days, you'll be just fine. But you should not let it linger. So as soon as you start feeling sick, you need to go to get tested for malaria at any local pharmacy and get the malaria pills, or just tell them that these are the symptoms, you think you have malaria, and just take the pills anyway, and you'll be fine. At least that's my experience. Okay, guys, this is my experience. I ain't no doctor. So just remember that. I ain't your doctor, I ain't your nurse practitioner, I ain't your nurse, I ain't your mama. Okay, I'm just telling you my own experiences and that of those around me. And I get malaria, I live here. I get malaria about every 3 to 6 months. Yep. Every 3 to 6 months, I get malaria, and I do what I need to do, and in a couple days, it's gone. But if you let it linger, it can kill you. If you let it linger, you can get, hospitalized. So don't let anything like that linger. You're not feeling well, go get checked out, or not even checked out. Go to the pharmacy. Because the pharmacy here is nothing like the pharmacy in the States. You don't have to have a bunch of prescriptions to get common medicine. And here, malaria medicine is very common over-the-counter medicine. I mean, you could buy things here over the counter that shock me. You could buy amoxicillin, penicillin. You can buy sleeping pills. You can buy the malaria pills, because all these are prescriptions. You can buy it's like a really strong ibuprofen that is normally a prescription. You can buy that over the counter. Like, you can buy so many things over the counter here. I just be like, what the hell do you need a doctor for? Like, everything's over the counter. Like, it's insanity. But it's definitely different. I'm just letting y'all know that. I was surprised. I get surprised every time when they be like, oh, you don't need a prescription? No, we don't do that here. So it's interesting. But I thought I would share that with you. Okay, wait a minute. Am I getting knocked out? Yeah, someone said something about traveling and getting COVID. Let me tell you something, guys. If you get COVID when you're here in Ghana, you're getting immediately moved to the facility that they have to isolate COVID people, and that's at your own expense. So, just so y'all know, we playing them COVID games. Good thing is COVID is not as bad here as it is in the States and other places. So that's a positive. Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys all coming on. I'm sorry, I was trying to look and see what everybody was saying in the chat while I was waiting for the screen to show up for me. Okay, so I see it. I have several screens going because I never know which one of these internets is gonna go out. Okay, cool. So High Vibes, I think I answered that question for you. This one here, I didn't even know you asked that question. It just kind of came out. But that's as much as I can answer for you. Yes. So I did speak on transportation though in the prior video, but it kept messing up. So I don't know if you actually heard it on that last live I did, but I'll talk about it again now. You can arrange for a driver from your hotel to take you around for the day because they have cars and drivers. All these major hotels, right? The big ones like Kempinski, Marriott, Lavati Beach, all these big ones have a concierge. So you just go with the concierge and arrange for the driver and car by, I think they charge by either hour or package or something like that. And then you just do it that way. And then that way you have a tree speaking driver who knows the area to take you around. Now get ready for their sob story and trying to get more extra money out of you. But you don't have to fall for that. You just, have a nice little chat, do what you need to do, and deuces. If you want to tip, you can tip. It's on you. People have come here have also made arrangements with taxi drivers to take them around for the day. They've made arrangements with Uber drivers to take them around for the day. Like one of the rideshare drivers, like, okay, I don't want to use this app, but I need somebody to take me around and show me places. Can you do it? How much it's gonna cost? And then you come up an agreement on payment, and then that person will take you around or pick you up the next day, whatever. That's common. It happens all the time. But you do need to be careful and cautious as a woman because these rideshare drivers are hella creepers. Not all of them, but some of them are extremely, dangerous. I've had my own bad experience that shook me. So I say do that with caution, extreme caution as a single woman. Now, I didn't have any problem with the driver I got from the hotel, but remember, you kind of going from the hotel, they know all about that person because that person has some kind of affiliation or partnership with the hotel through whatever the third party company is they're using for the car. And whenever you do the car through the hotels, it's going to be air conditioned. You do these ride shares, you ain't getting no air. So forget about it. So there's that. There's that. Andy, have you heard of Google Maps? Really? Really? Bueller? Okay, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and use some Google Maps and do that. Because what I look like, a GPS? I'm gonna need you. See, you playing. You playing seriously. Okay. All right, guys, this is a lot of information that I'm giving. The first one was 46 minutes. This one is 47. Good God, I can talk. If you want to come on and say something, you can. If you want to support, you can do that via Super Chat or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But let's see. Let me see. Did I miss something? Because that's kind of like all I have, right? It's the only thing I can think of. I can't really think of anything else. I mean, I guess the last thing I can think of is a SIM card. At the airport, I'm trying to think of what the airport is like. So at the airport, after you get your bags and after you get your printout of your proof of a negative COVID test, they let you leave the airport. When you're leaving the airport, everyone goes through the same set of double doors that are all in a row and come out to the same place when they exit. So when you come out from that area and you look to this way, so you're gonna look to the left, there's a little shop. There's several shops, but this is a little like phone shop. That little phone shop sells SIM cards. If you have an unlocked phone, it has to be truly unlocked. You have an unlocked phone, you can go there and buy a SIM card and you can go there and buy data. Now, they will try to sell you data for like 50 Ghana CDs, which is one of the larger packages for like MTN or Airtel Tigo or whoever. You don't have to do that. You can just be like, hey, I just want 10 CD, right? You can do that and then top up when you need to, because it's not like you're going to be making a lot of local calls talking all day. Now, you may use that credit for data, but nowadays y'all can come over here and use the data that you already have with your local provider. At least I've seen people doing that. Like, I ain't gonna do that, but I see people doing that now, so that's the thing. I don't know if you have to notify your carrier that you're going international and that you need an international planner if it automatically hits on roaming and then just gives you access to data. But those are two ways in which, one, you can get data on your cell phone when you're here, and two, how you can get a local number so that you can make phone calls to local numbers while you're here. So keep that in mind. As far as I know, you can still get SIM cards, but you do have to show proof of ID, which is your passport. Okay, let's see. I am thinking we are about done because this is a lot of talking. This is a lot of talking. Okay, I hope that this helps you guys who are looking to come to visit Ghana for the first time, or even come to Africa for the first time. The principles are still the same, regardless of what country you go to. Just remember, when you're coming here, please be open-minded. You're coming in, you're walking in a completely different culture. Don't think because you are making some kind of grand escape, or, you know, I know y'all like to say this, oh, I'm leaving Babylon. I'm like, what is Babylon? Why is everything a biblical reference with Black people? You know, I'm just like, okay, whatever. So, you know, try to be respectful of the culture and the people, and be open-minded to experience new things, including the food. Even if you don't like it initially, just be open-minded to it, because you might learn to enjoy it. And one of the places you can go to when you're here is Frankie's Rooms and More, which is a hotel, but they have a whole restaurant there, and it's nothing fancy, but they have all the Western food that you can want for cheaper prices in the hotel, and they have a delicious contumely stew with boiled yams that I did a whole video on that too. So I showed you that, and that, y'all, ain't nothing but greens. Ain't nothing but greens cooked in summer pollen with. Y'all, straight up greens with some beef in it, honey. It is good, okay? And so it's familiar. You know, it's familiar. It's just cooked different. You know what I'm saying? You know, green, you know, we cook our greens down, right? Cook it down. You're going to have some ham hocks and greens, or you're going to have some smoked turkey, right? But here they put beef in it, and they use palm oil. Absolutely delicious. And contumely stew at Frankie's is a nice way to introduce yourself to traditional Ghanaian food because it's authentically made. There's that. There is a restaurant I can't stand, but everybody seems to like it when they come here, and that's Buka. And I think it's just because the atmosphere looks pretty. And there is, I think there's a bunch of places in East Legon, a bunch of restaurants. I mean, there's a tilapia place there, like an outside place that got tilapia for 50 Ghana cedis. That's tilapia for one. But for y'all coming from the States, that's like, you'd be like, oh my God, this is so cheap. But you can get that good taste of what the tilapia is like here in Baku. And, you know, there are a really good, so there's two really good Western restaurants that I like, and I don't go too often because they are expensive. Tomato is one, I forget the location, but it's in proper. They make delicious pizzas, and they have real pasta. They actually use real cheese. They have an actual baking oven, you know, Italian baking oven, open flame, you know, whole clay oven. Yes, it's very nice, and the pizza is delicious. You know, of course, there's real Italians that own it, and then there is Bistro 22, which is when you're craving a hamburger. No, people are like, why would you eat a hamburger at Bistro 22? Because they have hamburgers that are real hamburgers with all the toppings, and they have a blue cheese hamburger, which is absolutely to die for, and they have a delicious cheesy avocado dip, honey. Yes, I go there when I'm having my cravings. But they have a bunch of other stuff too. Super expensive. Lastly, there is a vegan restaurant that is really good. You know, I like meat though, right? But this vegan restaurant is really freaking good. It's in Osu. It's in it looks like a hole in the wall, but the service is exceptional. The service at this place is absolutely exceptional, and so is the food. The restaurant's called Tatale, Tatale. If you're in town, you should go there and you should try, literally, there's like an appetizer called tatale. And they take a traditional Ghanaian dish and make it bougie. Delicious. They also have some Nigerian dishes there as well, all vegetarian, but all their dishes were good. So I would say go there and try it. Okay, guys, I think that is all my recommendations that I have for you all. Remember, nothing I said has been promoted. Nothing I said has been, I have been paid to say it. I'm just talking to you guys about my own experience here, my first time coming to Ghana, what I did, how I did it, and what I do now when I have my Western cravings for like American food that I can't cook or don't want to cook at home, and I want to go out to a restaurant and eat it or get takeout. So there are several other vegan options and vegetarian options all around town. I am not a vegan, so I'm not going to explore. I'm not going to explore vegan food. But Tatale just was a restaurant at a time I was starving. It was the only place that would deliver where I was at. So I was like, I'll take it. And it happened to be so good. And then I went back. We went back and actually ate there, and the service was good. The food was good. Mind you, when I got that takeout from that restaurant, I asked them a million questions and they never got mad. Normally, you know, customer service in Ghana is atrocious. They catch an attitude not crazy. The guy never got mad, the young guy. He explained everything to me, so I gave him a nice extra tip when I actually met him in person, because I was so appreciative of that service and the fact that I didn't know nothing about no vegan food. And also, I don't really know a lot at the time. I didn't really know a lot of Ghana food. So I was like, I don't even know what this is. So he was just like, okay, let me help you understand. And he did such a great job. So that's why I know about these options. So there are more. So you vegans will not die of starvation in Ghana. There are vegan options. There are vegans here. You definitely can find food to satisfy you so that you can eat. Okay, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this hour-long talk about, you know, how to get around, what to do, how to do things on your first visit to Ghana. I hope you use this information to come to Ghana, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for your time. Have a wonderful and blessed week, and I will be coming back at you guys tomorrow with another video. You know, I'm releasing a video almost every day these days, so, you know, just support, like, watch, share. Thanks, guys. Bye.